Hey there, chicken salted potato chip. Today's a special episode. We are going to go through this What Bitcoin Did podcast with Peter McCormack and Eric Wall. There is a 30-minute segment on HEX and PulseChain, and I can basically refute every single point in here, and we can go through all their zingers and how they think they're taking over. This is going to be fascinating, friends. I've already got a lot of material out there for you. You can find it all yourself, but we'll put it all in one place now. So for some context, right, we're going to go through this a little bit, and it's going to be 1.5x speed.
Let's talk about HEX. I heard it's a scam. I'm not sure. Richard Hart seems like a good guy. He seems like he's got great taste in fashion. Seems like he really cares about the financial system.
Okay, firstly, so some context, right? This is Peter McCormack. This is a post I made a long time ago, May 2022, a year ago, and I collected all his anti-HEX tweets to show you something important. Now, a lot of people, you're going to have to get on our level, friends. This is a game of investing. You see, the Bitcoin podcasts try to convince people it's not a game of investing. Why? And the answer is because Bitcoin's 14 years old, you are buying the top of the S-curve, Bitcoin has already gone up 1,000,000x, it's diminishing returns, and now it's formed a religion. So now they're basically trying to tell you, hey, if you buy in a Bitcoin, you're doing it for a righteous cause, not because you're trying to make 1,000x. But in the very early days of Bitcoin, it was. So I've got Peter's collection of tweets here, okay? This is really important. So Peter was fighting HEX. You see this red rectangle. We go through everything where he just fuds it. HEX is a scam. And it pumped 62x versus Ethereum from his very first tweet. So against Bitcoin, that's like 180x. So tell me that. If HEX is a scam, why did it pump 180 times more than Bitcoin and still have net higher value? Explain to me that. This is the chart specifically, friends. Up here, this is 820x, by the way. This is the HEX BTC chart. This is the chart of truth. Whenever you want to look at any coin and you want to know what has it really done over its lifetime, you always look at its BTC ratio. If you want to play on difficult mode, you look at its Ethereum ratio. But, I mean, this is over this. Look at 1,000x, 820x. Isn't that absolutely nuts? So call it a scam all you want. That's okay. I'm just letting you know this scam's going up. You can't fake this chart since 2019. I'm telling you now, you cannot make charts like this. You can't paint them accidentally. There is something going on here. Maybe Greg's got something to do with it. Maybe the community is a bit too cultish and they love the Ponzi's. It doesn't even matter, right? We're going to go through more of these, but this is building some context. And Eric, right? Eric, for example, you got to look at this. This is Eric's fund down 96% in a straight line. So Eric is a bottom signal. I was publicly using him as a bottom signal to call the bottom of HEX. I've even got a post here as well where it says, my HEX strategy is simple. You buy when Eric Wall said we were going below 1 cent. And here he was. He has a prediction for this year that HEX would go below 1 cent. But that was actually the low, and we popped off, plus 600% in a straight line, okay?
Problems within the banking sector and the Fed, and it seems like he's designed a cryptocurrency that can fix this. I've heard this is a rumor.
Do you know there's a book called like the 48 Laws of Attraction?
So in this next segment, friends, Eric basically talks about the book, The 48 Laws of Attraction. There's like a chapter in here, chapter 27, and he talks about how to create a cult. Now, I need to build this up for you because this is actually one of the like climaxes of their talking points in the show. Basically, what Eric goes through, he goes through the chapter in the book, and they talk about how to create a cult. Okay, and he says it's exactly textbook like HEX. Oh my God, right? And now he thinks this is some sort of like, yes, I've one-upped you, but we're gonna find out they're actually mid-curving themselves without knowing. Okay, so I'll even tell you what he says in here. He says in this segment, Eric says this chapter in his book is so powerful that if he exposes it to the world, it will destroy HEX because it will reveal the whole game. And I'm thinking, these people have absolutely no idea. They don't even know what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing, but that's great. That means you and I, the outsiders, we can make a lot of money. We can play the game better than them, okay? So what he said was a lot of bullocks and potatoes, and they talk about hex, scam, religion. Look at this. Let me tell you something. Have you heard of a little coin called Bitcoin? Bitcoin in 2011 was called the cult of Satoshi. They were making articles on the internet. Yes. And I've even mentioned here, Hex is called the cult too. Labels throw around. The Wired article called Bitcoin, the cult of Satoshi, a tool for terrorists, child abusers, and the Ponzi scheme. Also, they said everybody sucks off Satoshi and waits for every word. Yes, that's exactly what they said back then. And I have the evidence here. I've made videos on this, friends. I go through the research for you because I think you deserve a bone. I think you've been through some hard times and you actually want to get ahead of the game now. And I'm here to show you, yeah, we can get ahead of the game. Look at this. You can even look this up on Google. All the information's there. The Prophecy of Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin as a Religion. This was made in 2021. This was made on the Bitcoin Magazine website. By the way, Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum, founded the Bitcoin Magazine. Isn't that ironic that the guy who made Ethereum, the magazine he created, is now saying religious ideology stuff, evangelism about Bitcoin? It is amazing. It's amazing how the world just does these loops, friends, for us to observe. So I've even mentioned the goal of every crypto is to become a religion. This means you have a strong network effect. And if you're wondering why, man, I'm making these posts a long time ago, friends. I've dug these posts up for you. They are still relevant. Because in the strong network effect religion, people refuse to sell even if other assets promise high returns. This is exactly what we're looking at right now. Eric Wall and Peter McCormack, they don't want to touch Hex because it means they've got to sell their Bitcoin. Even though it might give higher gains, they're in the religion. But see, the game is to say that it's not a religion and we're here from higher purposes and change in the world. Yeah. We'll see, friends. We'll see how big your mouth is. We'll see how pointy your elbows are when Ethereum flips Bitcoin. We'll see how much they talk because that's what's going to happen. And you're going to see with your own eyes, these people are full of potatoes and they're full of bullocks because they're actually there for the price go up. They are there to respect Bitcoin as long as its ranking is number one. And I know a lot of Bitcoin maxis, I love yous too, but you better pray that your hands are diamond. Because I think some of yous are made of papyrus, ancient Egyptian papyrus hands. So you need believers to hodl. You need to be religion. You need to be a cult. Okay. I found comments from Bitcoin Maxi YouTube. Look at the first. It was about an immaculate conception. Look at the first comment. The Immaculate Conception. Thank you, Satoshi. The world owes you a debt of gratitude at a minimum. And look at the next post. Like Van Gogh's paintings, it is a gift to humanity. By the way, I love this language. It's great, right? These Bitcoin Maxi is the third comment. Damn, you took us to church today. I'm telling you now, man, this is by design and they think it's like a bad thing. Okay. I even made a whole video, the cult of Bitcoin. I go through everything. I made this video. This is uploaded to a Twitter exclusive, friends. So this is not new. This is not new at all. You don't have an incentive to branch into the unknown, the bleeding edge. That's right. If you are in the religion, you don't have an incentive to branch into the unknown because you're in there for something greater. However, remember, their goal is to... Well, they do this subconsciously, by the way. I'm not saying these men are nefarious. I'm just saying their goal, what happens in the religious Ponzi's, right? With Bitcoin is in the same category. Their goal is to convince everybody else that they're here for something else other than return on investment. They're here for a greater cause because that gets you to hold.
I thought there was only 7.
Apparently there's 48.
Okay.
So this go through the book, right? Remember they were talking about laws of attraction and like, I've got to expose everything with this one chapter. But here they are sitting in the biggest religion of them all. Bitcoin has 40 million unique holders. Hex has only got like 300,000. So Bitcoin's religion is 150 times bigger.
And he has incorporated every element of a specific chapter in that book that mirrors exactly what he's doing with Hex.
So this is a positive. So remember, Eric is talking about, wow, the things Richard Hart did for marketing, he's doing exactly like what the book says to. If you're curious, friends, it refers to things like, they mention here, making a sacrifice, using those words. But you can use the word sacrifice if you want to paint it in a negative light. If you read any other marketing book, you want people to be financially and emotionally invested. That is the key cause. That is the key attribute here. If you get people financially and emotionally invested, you have a higher chance of creating something valuable. Look what happens with diamonds. There's a lot of big supply in the world of diamonds, but when they do the marketing, they get people emotionally invested. They did the marketing for diamonds many, many years ago. I forgot how long, 50 to 70 years ago, De Beers did it. And they basically, they started the formula where a man should spend 3 months of the salary to show her that you really love her. That's what the advertisement said back then. But the marketing meme caught on. This is nothing new. But they don't know that. They don't know that. And I just showed you their evidence. Of course, they're fudding stuff at the lows and things are mooning. Of course, they don't know that. But we know that. Why? Because we're baby doll friends.
Your friend, and can you help me understand things that I don't understand in crypto?
Shall keep your enemies closer.
Chapter 27 is play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. And it provides.
So here you go. Play on people's need to create a cult-like following. They're in the biggest cult of them all, man. Oh, the irony, friends.
GPT about Richard Hart. Say, how did Richard Hart create the HEX cult?
I don't know if it has data that old.
We'll go through some more.
Oh, yeah, no, I did. I vetted that.
So, okay, do we know how much money he's made from it? Do we have ideas? Do we think it's millions, tens, or hundreds?
Yeah, it's hard to tell because of the fact that when you have an ice.
So I found this interesting. They started talking about Richard Hart's money. It's like, how much money has he made? Billions. He's taken all the Ethereum from everyone, right? Baby doll, baby cakes. Can I blow your mind right now? You know those early Bitcoin cult articles from 2011 and 2012? Those articles I've made videos about and I've gone through. If you go back and read them, you will notice a common theme. They all talk about how much money Satoshi made. Yes, all of them. It's the same thing. Satoshi's got 1 million Bitcoin. Why do you care about Ricardo Corazon when Satoshi has 1 million Bitcoin? You don't know who he is. But of course, they're deep inside the religion. They got their head first in the cavity. They are really swimming inside the bubble here. And they're like, haha, look at you. You're all in a bubble, but I'm not. No, you're in the bubble. You're in a big, fat, shiny bubble.
ICO running, you can recycle funds in and out. But from the PulseChain sacrifice and the PulseX sacrifice, for those particular wallets, you can actually look on Etherscan, like how much money are in those wallets right now.
In this next part, he actually counts the stablecoin treasury of PulseChain and PulseX. He counts that as part of Richard Hart's net worth, which I was like, yeah, you're pushing it here. Like, do you really think 150,000 people are going to be watching this public blockchain address sitting there and go like, oh, gee, whatever happened with what went on? Like, I don't think that would fly by anyone. But it's okay. You know, if you're caught in this discussion, it's okay if you want to go down this route, right?
And call it the HEX.com stadium. So if I bought Bedford Town.
So this is actually funny. Peter says that when he was buying one of the soccer teams, Richard called up that soccer team to try be a sponsor to put a HEX.com advertisement. So look, friends, I'm just telling you now. I'm going to tell you, okay. We are in a simulation. Crypto coins are just different flags of teams. That's what the tickers are. We're in different teams. We're in different cities. This is the game. Just learn to accept it. It's okay. So I like that, by the way. Like, they're trying to be like, oh, no, it's trolling. Like, yes, it's great. I like that. That's somebody who, look, how many billionaires do you know out there that would actually be doing really niche, extravagant things like this to try to maintain the edge? How many? Now, it's funny, the spin that they use on Richard Hart trolling with this HEX.com stadium sponsorship, that what they say is that he's a troll and like, oh, he keeps coming after me. He keeps attacking me. Like, oh, geez, like, man, get over it. And it's funny. I've always said that Richard Hart is just the Donald Trump of crypto. And Peter McCormack in this podcast mentions it too. He goes, he's a bit Trump-like. And if you're wondering at home what that actually means, it just means like your base relies on seeing strength. That's just what it is. So Richard Hart's base reacts positively to strength. Most of the Hexagon, I'm giving you qualitative edge now, by the way. Most of the Hexagon community, if you go and speak to a lot of them, there's a lot of war veterans, people who served in the army, a lot. They react positively to loyalty, this type of nationalism, strength. It's all middle-aged men who like saying, let's go to war. Now, there's different aspects of different other coins and different communities out there. I'm just telling you now, this is what they react positively to. If Richard Hart came on stream, he started crying, I'm so sorry for hurting your feelings, we'd see the price go down. We would see people leave. Just like if Donald Trump came out and apologized. If he came out and said, oh, geez, I'm so sorry for all the terrible things I've done, that would be negative towards their base. Okay, so we are in this game to see what is the crowd like. This is something you can't get from the charts. You can't get this from other YouTube videos. I'm an outsider. I'm here sharing with you this information. You're a baby doll baby cake with a straight back and your knees are a bit pointy. So we're going through this just to understand what's going on. Because when we process information, most people are just thinking, oh, price up, price down. But no, you should be processing information around, say, your investments in terms of, okay, does this strengthen my fundamental case for the long term or weaken it?
I would have had to, because I would have been contractually obliged to have my team playing in the Hex.com stadium.
So remember that, Hex.com stadium, epic troll.
Him understand that he is not, a god. He can't do the things that he thinks that he can do. So it diminishes him. It makes him feel smaller.
So it's becoming irrelevant.
It's just an ego thing at this point. I mean, he wants to become someone that is admired and someone that is omnipotent.
So it's funny, they go from, it's a scam, etc. It's got all this money, and then they move into the discussion of, hey, but why is he still here? Why is he doing this? And then they come to the conclusion of, hey, okay, he wants to be relevant and go for glory. Let me tell you something, baby dolls. This discussion you're watching now was done about Elon Musk many, many years ago. I wasn't interested. I didn't care about politics. I didn't care about any of that. But I was watching it happen from time to time, and I would watch like these little woke type of journalists talk about Elon like that. Like, oh, he's just searching for some deeper meaning. And like when they start speaking about this, I'm not even really paying attention to what they say. I'm observing two characters with an audience speaking about this person. That's how powerful the gravitational force is of what's going on here. So don't really think about, oh, is he really going for glory, etc. It doesn't matter. Does it honestly really matter? It's good to know because you might be curious, like, hey, man, how come if I had $1 billion, I'd probably walk away and sip cocktails on an island, but how come this guy's doing something? So it's cool to understand that from that perspective because it helps build your conviction.
Any criticism?
It's because they're a fringe community and they need bigger adversaries to sort of give them relevance again. So
Eric talks about why does the Hex community go after him? Why do they go after Peter? Why do they react when bad words are said? And this is the most beautiful part, friends. They're speaking about this act of reaction as a negative thing. Well, it is absolutely the most positive thing ever. If you go to my Twitter, you will see many times I've made XRP posts. And I'm like, man, XRP's down really much. Ripple still dumps 30% below market price. They're still dumping on you. They failed everything. It's been 10 years. They've never relived that 500x pump. Everybody still has these really crazy, humorous expectations of that XRP, all these like fake conspiracies about it, like Donald Trump backs it, or gold's going to back it, or it's going to go to $500. All these things. And guess what? The XRP community, they're not there. They're defeated. They're actually defeated. But when we look at Hex, when price was down, right, still down, but when people attack it, I'm watching people come to the life. So these two gentlemen who are discussing this, they are discussing it just for the sake of adding conversation. When I look at it, my lens, I'm here to tell you This is a sign of strength. This is a healthy, growing network effect. This is a community that wants to be over $2 worth one day. They do. This is a community that wants to take over Binance Chain. They want to take over Ethereum. They want to take it on. Will they get there? I don't know the future, but I would rather be behind the community that is showing this much life when they're bruised and they're battered and they're sliced and diced. I want to back that community. Just like if there's a recession, you want to back the company that's still profitable, that's still pushing, still marketing, still adapting. There are companies out there, if there's a recession, they might cater their marketing to dress up and put less luxury marketing and try to be more accommodative to the average, to the zeitgeist of what the people think.
They're always trying to rope the point, where my cryptocurrency friends like Udi and Hasu and other people like, Eric, you're spending way too much time.
Did you have an
So Eric's, a big part of his identity came because of HEX and PulseChain. Now, he was known in the community before, but this really consumed him. And I'll just give you a small anecdote, friends. I was on Twitter one day checking it out, and Kobe he made some random tweet where he said, you can look this up, he said he asked one question, I think, to Eric Wall. He said something like, hey. He just said hey to him. Like, hey, Chihuahua, just one word. And then Eric immediately responded to him with essays out of nowhere. No context. Talking about HEX, Richard Hart, PulseChain. And I just found this so comical. This is in 2022. Like, he's so consumed. Like, a random dude just says hello to him. And look what he bursts out with.
intervention?
I had an intervention.
You were in a cult.
I wasn't in a cult. Well, I was like just
kind of ironic that Bitcoin, the cult, is still here. And we love cults, we love religions, okay? Because that's how you're going to get your network effect. But see, they don't see it. See, friends, you already know from my teachings, my baby doll, baby cake teachings, I've let you know Bitcoin can only survive by taking on the next bigger boss, just like every other crypto. But Bitcoin's next biggest boss is getting a Bitcoin spot ETF. It's convincing the government that this religion is growing and we're never going to sell. It's convincing everyone there so we can get the institutional money to come in and put a bid for the next 10 to 15 years because everybody gets the DCA by the bags and cover the market cap as we go up over time. That's actually the next game. And if you get there, that's not a bad thing. That means you've survived 14 years. If you can pick the next crypto that's actually going to make it that far, you're going to kill it. Isn't it amazing, friends, the information I share with you?
Like those were the Christ and the Antichrist. And I enjoyed...
Which one were you?
I was the Antichrist.
Huh.
Yeah,
So Eric speaks about his role as like the rival of HEX, etc. And a lot of people are angry at him, but I let you know, he serves a very good purpose. And if I could put it bluntly, he serves a purpose of, let's put a target, an enemy out there for the main character so that when they fight, the main character absolutely smashes this enemy and the audience cheers and yells and like, woohoo! That's what his purpose is. So it's you might not like the language, but yes, he's been reduced to like a target dummy put out there for the bull to run and just charge and flip. You ever watch the Spanish running with the bulls videos? You go, yes, give me one idiot who just stood there for too long and you see the bull go and smash him and the crowd cheers. So I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to tell you this is good or bad, left, right, up, down, jizz, jazz. Maybe your elbows are pointy. Maybe some of it's round. It's okay to me as long as you have a straight back, right? I'm just here to tell you what I see. I've got a gift here. I can observe these differently. So we're all looking at the same information, but my brain is my little salty peanut brain, my little peanut rolling around in there. It's processing information at a different level than most people. So I'm here to share with you that because you're a baby doll, baby cake.
And I enjoyed that on my own projects. Like I actually started to work on projects that,
Yeah. So in this next part, he says, well, he's like, he left HEX and PulseChain community. He left them, quote unquote. Friends, I just showed you the tweet. He literally left at the lows, by the way, and then we went plus 500%. So he said he left the lows and now he's doing some grander calls about some Bitcoin, different projects and communities. But they're going to learn the hard way that the Bitcoin meme of the religion was beautiful for the first 10 years because its price was going up. And I want them to know this. Bitcoin is still beautiful. However, for the next 10 years, its price will go up much, much, much less than you think. Yes, it will. And other like tainted coins that they consider dark cloud, more centralized, they are going to shock you with how many people come in. Just like how when the army invented the internet, the first 2% of the internet was used to communicate between lands. And what's 98% of the internet ended up being used for in 1990s, friends? You know what it is. Adult material, sending pictures of cats, people just talking poop, conspiracy theories, all illegal stuff. That's what the internet was actually used for. And look what it's even used for today. Just people literally just sending TikTok videos to each other. So you got to adapt with the next people. So they've lost sight that the whole point of Bitcoin was to onboard like 100 million people. However, now that the people are coming in, you can see them wrestling with themselves. They're like, wait a minute, you're not coming in for the same values I got in. And I'm saying, yes, Habibi Albi, of course. They heard about Bitcoin 10 years ago, but it didn't grip them enough to join the community. So obviously the whole libertarian and we're going to change the world and censorship resistance, yeah, those narratives are great and they're beautiful, but you are now speaking to a cohort of people who did not react to that at all. In fact, most of them react more positively to Doge and Elon Musk than they do with Bitcoin and those censorship resistant principles. That's the truth. You have to swallow this truth. Get on your knees and swallow it, just like the rest of us. I want to live in a world where superior technology gives us a higher price pump. We don't live in that world. The game ain't that easy. People are sending TikTok videos doing handstands, showing their boobies and stuff like, yes, welcome. That's what most of the internet bandwidth is used for.
Scam?
Oh, I would never do that.
Yeah, I choose that word very specifically when I call something a scam. So I haven't called it a scam. I've called it like a transparently slanted game that goes to enrich a particular party. But if it's transparent, people know about it, it's not a scam in my opinion. But now when it's like the promises that he had made about PulseChain, and then seeing what he's delivering in reality, and also seeing how little he knows about what he's actually delivering.
Okay, so this is where we're going to get even more juice for you. So they calls it a scam because I'm going to summarize it for you. Eric, my baby doll Eric, with his cute ponytail here, Eric doesn't know the difference between short-term marketing campaigns and fulfilled promises. He believes that people actually care about this upgrade and this tech. He doesn't know that people there are actually just for the price go up. And of course, friends, because they're in their religion, they're pumping their own Bitcoin bags. They don't understand how powerful the price go up narrative and speculation is for people coming in. They can't see that. But you know why? It's because Bitcoin pumped so much. They don't need to think about that and see that. It went up so much that it can't possibly get overtaken by now. They're living in the bubble. So I know this. I've already told you many times. It doesn't even matter that Richard's delayed PulseChain, and it doesn't matter because Bitcoin and Ethereum's price is not at the levels it needs to be to attract new money coming in. So you better sit there and swallow this cold hard truth as well. It absolutely plays no difference. The community is the asset, not the code. So Eric is criticizing Richard's community messaging, but it doesn't matter. War veterans don't leave because you said, well, I said it was going to be blue, but it came out red. They're missing the point. They don't understand network effects. But we do. That's good. We do. I love this. Friends, when I love this. This material G's me up. I watch this. I'm like, yes. Because you got to think about this. I think What Bitcoin Did is one of the number one. It's like one of the top 10 podcasts for finance on Apple iTunes. So this is, I hate to say it this way, but it's true. They are poisoning the minds of so many people. They're keeping them poopy heads for us. It's true. They are keeping the audience's investment level, game ability level, they're keeping it squashed, neutralized, neutered. And that's what we want. You like that. If you lived in an evil genius world and you're a conspiracy theorist, it's like when people say, hey, the government wants to keep you in the unknown and not teach you about the money system and how it really works. They want to keep you stupid. They don't want to keep you asking questions. It's exactly like that. It's exactly like that.
A millionaire or a billionaire because you bought HEX early. Why are you asking publicly on Twitter for a $10,000 donation so you can...
So they speak about the HEX SEC subpoena and they go through some details here. And it's just very interesting. This is what happens when you go down the rabbit hole of something you're consumed to not like. You miss so many things. So like Bitcoin's had a lot of criticisms too, right? I can give you one of the biggest Bitcoin criticisms ever. I'll tell you right now. What if Satoshi is actually a government agent? What about that? Now, I know Bitcoin maxis will scoff at that idea. No. Okay, well, prove it to me. How are you going to have a world currency where some dude you don't even know if he exists has 1 million of the Bitcoin to himself? You have no idea to verify what he is, what he's doing. Do you want to put like 20 third world countries into Bitcoin as a currency and have them risk complete decimation because one day Bitcoin, you just wake up, it's minus 99% because Satoshi's been dumping his 1 million? Now, I know this idea seems far-fetched, but you got to bear with me here. It only seems far-fetched to you right now listening because you're so convinced of the Bitcoin narrative and you believe Satoshi that much. You're like, nah, this is a 1% chance. This will never happen. Of course. It's because Bitcoin's been going up for so long and the religion is so big and vast, you can't possibly conceive of this happening. But they're not speaking about that. They're speaking about, well, X and subpoena and this and that. Well, of course, because it's been around for less amount of time. HEX is the best scam to hate on because at least when it goes up, you can find information out there from somebody like me. I literally have a buy Bitcoin sign, right? Literally have a buy Bitcoin sign in my avatar, okay? So at least when you see if this does go up, you can at least expand your knowledge set and go, well, something here is going on. Something here is more than meets the eye.
Whoa.
Yeah, because the way that he's been managing the PulseChain project was just, beyond, like I was unable to come up with any reason for why this is not a blatant scam at this point.
Yep. So friends, the final message here, they end with PulseChain and how it's going, the technicals, and they're saying, they refer to Richard's messaging about we're going to be better Ethereum or we're going to do proof of stake. And they're looking at these with the poopy head mindset. None of that matters. It doesn't actually matter. And if you know anything about marketing, I know this, friends. I'll tell you right now, secret. Ricardo's messaging about PulseChain was very in sync with what the majority of people wanted at that time. It's now shifting because these messages change, friends, every 3 to 9 months. It's like, do you want burning or don't you? Do you want yield or don't you? Because you can't have both. Do you want a pure deflationary asset or should we leave a little bit of inflation to keep you paying along the way so you don't have to think about selling your bags? That's something interesting to think about. I'll end with you this, okay? Final message, friends. Think about a world where, look at this inflation example, right? You might think, okay, a pure deflationary asset's going to go higher than anything else. Sure. But maybe a world where you give people like 4% inflation per year is actually better, because you might find out that if you make something pure deflationary, people probably overestimate how much they need to sell. Maybe that happens. Maybe if you make something pure deflationary, maybe people start selling 10% per year. Whereas if you give them only the inflation part of 4%, you might find that they only sell their yield because they never want to lose the quantity of the bags they own. This is just like a little thought experiment, but you're not going to find that type of qualitative discussion on a podcast like this. All you're going to find is they're just drumming up, this is Bitcoin, we are the righteous ones, and that's okay, friends, that's okay. I want you to know at the end of the day, they can talk 30 minutes about HEX, PulseChain, Richard Hart, calling it a scam, religious Ponzi. They can talk about that all they want. But you know what they can't talk about? The quality of our friendship. Because you and I both know it reaches out to the stars. Tell mom and tell dad that you love them very much.